Caseus. Knightfall. The following is a fan-written story set during the events of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. The following story is non-canon to any and all events in the Star Wars canon. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Terror in the Republic. As the Clone Wars ravage the galaxy, the Jedi Knights find their forces spread thin. Over the skies of Coruscant, the vile General Grievous launches an assault upon the Republic forces, kidnapping Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. As Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker mount a desperate attempt to rescue the captive Chancellor, thousands of battle droids storm the streets of the Republic capital. Jedi Knights Cassius Urshon and Sarah Keto had been sent into the fray to aid the Republic's forces in putting a stop to this attack, before any more innocent lives are lost. Chapter 1. The streets of Coruscant were overrun with chaos. Battle droids marched on the city, firing at the Republic forces who had set up a barricade to slow down the oncoming assault. Captain Krieger sat behind cover with Master Takai.
These clankers are bold, trying to attack the capital. If we don't push them back soon, we'll be overrun.
Just keep them at bay. We need to hold out for as long as we can. Master Takai reached for her belt and grabbed her comlink. Cassius, what is taking you so long?
Sorry, Master. Cassius is busy at the moment.
Sarah stood on a nearby rooftop with a few troopers. Master Takai deflected a few more incoming shots. Well, where is he? Doing something stupid. Why does that not surprise me? The droids continued to advance when the distinct sound of a starship broke through the chaotic noise. Looking up, Master Takai saw Cassius starfighters swoop low and blast away at two of the droid tanks, crippling them.
Sorry I'm late, Master. You guys okay?
Cassius, are you ever on time?
I'm working on it.
Cassius swooped low again when the droids began to fire on his ship. R3, take us lower. We need to get rid of that last tank so our troops can advance. Okay, let's go. Cassius flew low once more and opened fire upon the remaining tank. However, the armored vehicle fired back, clipping the wing of Cassius' starfighter, causing it to veer out of control. R3, eject! The pod of the starfighter opened as R3 and Cassius ejected into the air. The fighter itself began to skid across the bridge, taking out a number of droids and crashing into the tank, taking it out of commission. As the smoke cleared, Cassius activated his lightsaber and stared down the oncoming battle droids.
Blast him!
Cassius began deflecting plasma shots in every direction, batting them away with ease. Seeing the tanks were destroyed, Master Takai rallied the 303rd behind her as they pressed the assault. Taking cover behind one of the downed tanks, Cassius activated his comlink. Sarah, droid poppers! I'm on it. Boys, who's ready for a bit of ziplining?
Ready when you are, Commander.
Fire the cables. Aiming their blasters, the clones fired 4 grapple cables to the bridge below and secured them tightly, handing Sarah a large bag of EMP grenades. Race you down. Sarah grabbed the attachment hook and slid down the cables with the clones following close behind. Landing on the bridge, Sarah let loose the grenades, which went off, shocking several battle droids into submission, leaving them prone to the oncoming blaster fire.
I love these things.
The clones continued to push the dwindling legion of droids backwards as Cassius fought alongside his former master. Those starfighters aren't cheap, you know. The Council can send me a bill after these droids are sent to the scrap pile. Sarah rejoined with Cassius and Master Takai. Nice entrance. Needs some work. Less talking. We've got them on their heels. Push forward. The 3 Jedi rallied the forces of the 303rd and pushed. The droids were losing ground and beginning to break apart when the ground began to shake. More droids. They sent reinforcements. From behind the line of incoming droids rolled several droidicas. Cassius looked over at the troops. Fall back! Droidicas inbound! Cassius, Sarah, and Master Takai provided defensive cover for their dwindling soldiers as they retreated back towards where they started. If they take this bridge, there's nothing to stop them from reaching the Senate building. Sarah, I'm open to suggestions. Sarah looked around at the bridge. Bodies and droid parts lay strewn about as the enemy continued to advance. Parts of the bridge had been hit with tank blasts and bombs. Question. Do we really need this bridge? Sarah, if you're going to suggest blowing up the bridge, not blowing it up, weakening it so it collapses. At the very least, it can buy us some time before reinforcements arrive. Master Takai looked at the bridge and sighed. Caseus, any alternative ideas? None that won't get us killed. Very well. I'm sure a missing bridge will be the least of our worries if this fails. Do what you need to do. We'll cover you. Caseus and Sarah nodded as two heavy troopers released a hailstorm of blaster fire, giving Caseus and Sarah a bit of cover as they used their grapple cables to swing underneath the bridge over a very steep plunge. Start cutting through the supports. I'm going to weaken the walkway. Be careful. Sarah and Caseus leapt from beam to beam, cutting through anything that would give the bridge structural integrity. As they sliced, they could hear the loud, low rumbling sound of the bridge as it began to creak and shake under the weight of the advancing droids. Let's get back up. Right, hurry! The two of them swiftly grabbed onto their grapple cables and swung their way up just as the bridge began to fall apart. Master Takai had just ushered the rest of her troops back to safety as Caseus and Sarah ran full speed to her, with parts of the bridge breaking beneath their feet. Jump! Sarah leapt alongside Caseus as they propelled themselves forward, landing just in front of Master Takai as the bridge fully collapsed, sending many battle droids raining down to the streets below. The droids that remained continued to fire at them from across the bridge. We stalled them. Now what? Caseus activated his comlink. Juro, do you read me? We need reinforcements now.
We're on our way, Commander. Stay put, and we'll take care of the rest.
A minute passed as two LAAT transports swooped in low and fired at the remaining droids, picking them off with ease. Soon they were sent running, soon to be hunted down by Republic security. Cheers rang out from the clones of the 303rd. We did it. Master Yoda and Master Windu shouldn't be much longer in taking care of the rest of these rust buckets. When they give us the all-clear, it's back to the temple. Caseus nodded, but looked at Master Takai, who was standing in sorrow looking over the bodies of their fallen soldiers. It didn't dawn on him until now just how many of the 303rd they had lost in this battle. Walking over to one of the bodies, Caseus saw his helmet had been blown off in the chaos, his eyes frozen in a state of shock. Brave soldiers. Every one of them. This is the hardest part of leading these men. Knowing they were bred for this life. Caseus put his hand on his master's shoulder, before gently kneeling and closing the fallen trooper's eyes. Let's make sure their sacrifice wasn't in vain, Master. Master Takai nodded as the LAATs landed not far from them. Juro stepped out and saluted his commander and friend. Caseus saluted back.
Commander, we've just received word from Master Windu. The ground invasion has been successfully halted. It's up to our men in the sky now to send them running.
That's good to hear. What about the Chancellor?
We confirmed that Grievous was able to capture him. He's currently en route to his cruiser.
That's not good. If something happens to the Chancellor, the Republic won't have the strength or morale to continue fighting.
Not to worry, sir. General Kenobi and General Skywalker are on their way to rescue him as we speak. If anyone can do it, they can.
That's good. Hopefully they can apprehend Grievous while they're at it. If they capture him, it'll be a major step towards ending this war. There's still the matter of Dooku, however. But one step at a time. For now, let's get our wounded on board. We'll send another shuttle to recover the dead after we arrive. These men earned their rest. The remaining troops of the 303rd boarded the LAATs. Along with the 3 Jedi as they made their way back to the rendezvous point. Upon landing, Caseus could see the damage the invasion had caused to the city. Fires were being tended to. Rubble was being cleared, and bodies were being moved.
The Seppies really played their hand here. This ground assault was nothing more than a cover to kidnap the Chancellor.
Cover or not, they've taken many lives here. This war needs to end soon, before things escalate beyond our control. Walking through the debris, Caseus could see the sorrow in the eyes of many clones who had just lost their brothers. A pain he sympathized with after what happened with Corbin. They soon approached a makeshift base where Master Windu stood amongst several clone officers and Republic officials. Master Shakti was being tended to by a medic. Her head hung in disappointment. Master T? The Chagrutan master raised her head to look at Caseus. Are you all right? I can't say that I am, Caseus. I failed to stop Grievous. Now the leader of the Republic is in enemy hands. Caseus knelt in front of her. You did all you could, I'm sure. Kenobi and Skywalker are going to get him back. I know they will. You should try to relax. It's in their hands now. I will try. Thank you, young one. Master Windu walked over and spoke to Master Takai.
Kukuri.
We were able to stop the advancing battalions. However, it required rather drastic measures. Sarah chimed in while tending to a wounded clone. By drastic, she means the bridge is gone.
I see. However, as long as the invasion has been quelled on this front, collateral damage is the least of our worries at the moment. How did your troops fare?
Not too well, I'm afraid. We've sustained heavy casualties within the past few months. Of our original division sent from Camino at the beginning of the war, the 303rd has dwindled to a few hundred. When we return to the temple, I'll put in a request for additional troops as soon as possible.
Very good. Caseus, Sarah, anything to report? We received a few reports of remaining droids still loose in the city. If we have any troops to spare, it may be best to send out search parties to take them out before they can cause any more trouble. I'll send word to my division and have this issue taken care of. In the meantime, you two help out around here. See what you can do to assist the wounded. I need to speak with Master Takai.
Yes, Master. Caseus and Sarah spent the next few hours offering aid where they could. As he cleared a large piece of rubble, he saw Juro seated against the LAAT, looking exhausted. Caseus walked over and joined his comrade. You okay?
I'm fine, sir. I'm just tired.
We're all tired, Juro. Once we sort things out...
No, not like that, sir. I'm tired of seeing my brothers die in an endless struggle. I've had to bury too many of them. I know that this is our purpose, what we were bred for. But it kills me inside to know that every day I wake up, we're going to lose more of them.
Caseus rested his hand upon Juro's shoulder. This can't be easy for you, Juro. Growing up in the temple, I was told that being a Jedi is an honor reserved for a rare few. Every time a Jedi passed on or died, everyone in the temple knew, and we shared in the grief. You, Kriega, and every clone out there. You give your everything to preserve our way of life. And yet your lives are seen as expendable. Just another casualty of war. Juro looked down, his eyes full of a stoic depression. But I promise you, you're not expendable. Every life of every clone is a bright flame through the Force. You're not mindless drones. You're soldiers. More than that, you're human. I share your pain and exhaustion. When this war is over, wherever your path leads you, I hope you find peace and prosperity. Juro looked to his commander and smiled softly.
Thank you, sir.
Caseus returned the smile, and he and Juro returned to their duties. An hour passed as the rubble had been mostly cleared and the bodies of the fallen were properly taken care of. Caseus stood next to Sarah and looked at the sky above, seeing small bright flashes from the battle far above them. You think they found the Chancellor? I hope so. If not, this will only draw out the war longer. Or worse. Sarah sighed and looked at Caseus. Caseus, I've been meaning to ask you something. What is it? Well, it's... Caseus looked at her with confusion. It's nothing. I'll ask you later. Are you sure? Yes. Let's go tell Master Windu we're done here. Caseus watched as Sarah left his side, and soon followed her to Mace Windu and Master Takai, who were huddled over a comm table looking extremely worried. What's going on? We've just received a report that the invisible hand is broken apart. It's currently on a collision course with the city. What? What happened?
If I had to take a guess, I'd say Skywalker is involved somehow. It'll enter the atmosphere at any moment.
I'm guessing that's what we're looking for?
Caseus and the others looked to where Sarah was pointing. A large Separatist cruiser was hurtling towards the surface at dangerous speeds.
It looks like it's heading for the landing strip. There's no way they can land that thing at that speed.
Caseus looked at his master. We need to get over there and help.
There's not much we can do right now, Caseus. We can't stop it.
Then we should get over there as soon as it makes contact and try to help any survivors.
It's leveling out, look!
To the astonishment of Caseus, the damaged ship was indeed leveling out. Even from a distance, the sound it made as it touched down and began skidding across the landing strip could be heard as clear as a bell. It was like a supernova had hit. They saw it grind against the runway before skidding to a slow halt. Caseus was blown away.
Come on, let's go help.
Very well. Take your transports and meet back at the temple when you've finished. Be careful. There may still be enemy troops on board. Caseus nodded as he, Sarah, and his master boarded the LAAT with Juro and R3, and swiftly flew over to the wreckage of the Invisible Hand. Fire and rescue ships had already landed nearby and were busy dealing with the hull of the ship. Hopping out, Caseus and Sarah stood in front of the behemoth cruiser. Several escaping battle droids were quickly gunned down as the two Jedi stood by. From up above, Caseus could see a transport arrive as Kenobi and Skywalker emerged from the bridge and were lowered to the ground, followed by the Chancellor. Caseus walked over as Kenobi straightened his tunic, looking extremely flustered.
Master Kenobi, that's certainly one way to land a cruiser.
Well, if it weren't for the smoldering wreck we arrived in, I'd say it was a rather stylish entrance.
Caseus chuckled and bowed in respect to the wise master. I'm glad to see the Chancellor is safe.
He is. Unfortunately, Grievous managed to evade us once again. I need to contact the temple immediately and inform them of our arrival. Excuse me.
As Obi-Wan walked off, Caseus saw Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. He slicked back his hair as he spoke with the Chancellor. He'd heard of Skywalker's heroics during the war, but this was something else entirely. The transport craft landed as Chancellor Palpatine and Kenobi boarded with Anakin following behind. For a brief moment, Cassius' eyes met those of the hero of the Republic. With a smile, Skywalker boarded, and the transport made its way to the temple.
Not exactly what I'd call a 5-star landing, but I don't really think I could have done any better myself.
I have to say I'm surprised they pulled it off. Let's get things sorted out here and head back home. My report is going to take forever to fill out.